Hi, I'm Michael Roberts, Dean of the Gupta College of Science. Students, faculty, and staff have now been working for nearly 4 weeks remotely. And now as we reach the end of the semester, we thought it'd be a good idea to perhaps provide some advice for our students as we head into the final 2 weeks of the semester. I'm here with Denise Sanata, one of our first-year advisors. Denise, can you introduce yourself for our viewers?
My name is Denise Sanata, and I am one of the professional advisors in the College of Science. I also teach University 110, the first year experience, every fall semester, and I'm teaching a section of that class this spring semester for new students as well.
Thanks. What has been the thing that you've seen students struggle with as they've been working through their online courses?
In my class, I have found that managing multiple deadlines with no face-to-face interaction has been really difficult for students. So under regular circumstances, you are typically forced to focus on your classes in class. So you might have your English class on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 9:50. So you're probably asking questions in class. You might be reminded of due dates in class. It's just very helpful overall to have that face-to-face time. In this new online format, everything is just kind of thrown at you at once, and you're being forced to complete assignments and meet deadlines on your own time without that schedule. So I think managing everything without that face-to-face interaction has been really hard for students. On the advising side of it, sometimes as an advisor, I see students struggling with communication being completely online and mostly through email. Sometimes it's hard for advisors and professors to help students fully without being able to see them and talk to them face to face. So that's also been a challenge.
What advice do you have for students that might be struggling with these issues?
For students who might be struggling with time management or with sticking to a deadline, my advice for you would be to schedule time for your classes, for each of your classes, and make sure you're sticking to that schedule. So I know that's much easier said than done, but I think that will be really helpful for you to avoid procrastination and then avoid getting stressed out about all of the work that you have to do. So you could choose to stick to the same schedule that you had when we were meeting in classes, or you could create your own schedule. As long as you're trying to, create a schedule and stick to it, I think that can be really helpful for you to get things done on time. For students who might be frustrated with email communication back and forth, my advice for you is just make sure you're communicating and including the necessary detail in the emails that your advisor or your professor might need. We can help you much more effectively if you give us some detail in that email and you make sure that your email is clear and concise. If there's something that can't be handled through email, then you can always reach out to your advisor or your instructor and ask if they can set up a Microsoft Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting with you.
Thanks. What other advice would you have for students as they complete their work in the last 2 weeks of the semester?
My advice for you would be to try to stay as organized as possible throughout the next 2 weeks. So I recommend you use Moodle to get your syllabus out for each of your classes. Make sure you know everything that is coming up in the next 2 weeks and everything that is due up until the end of the semester. If you can, break up everything and make sure that you are making a to-do list for each day or for each week, and just know what's going to be expected of you throughout the next 2 weeks. The other thing that I think will be really important for you throughout the next couple of weeks is making sure that you're keeping open communication with each of your professors. So if you're struggling with something in class, make sure you are reaching out to your professor and letting them know. Everyone at Coastal is here to help you, your advisors, your professors. We are all kind of going through this together. So I'm sure your professors are going through their own struggles at home with working from home, maybe taking care of children. I'm sure they have other stressors in their lives also, so they understand what you are going through. So don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help from whoever you need it from.
Thanks. As an advisor working from home, what have you found to be helpful in keeping you focused on the work that you're doing?
So my advice would be to stay organized and stay on track, but make sure you're not wearing yourself too thin. So I think I learned this in the first couple of weeks of working from home. I try not to spend more than a few hours sitting at my table working on my computer at a time. So try to make sure that you're giving yourself breaks. Your attention span is going to start to fade. You're not going to be as productive as you usually are if you try to work too hard for too long. So make sure you're trying to get outside, go for a walk, play with your dogs, go take a shower, whatever it is that helps you to just kind of refresh and get your mind back to where it needs to be to focus on your schoolwork.
Thanks. Do you have any advice for students as they prepare for their online finals?
So I know things are probably very hectic for you and for a lot of other people. You might be back home with parents who are working from home, or siblings, or a lot of pets. You might just have a hectic household. As we approach finals week, I would say just make sure you have a quiet space, you have your designated study space where you can take your finals. That's going to be peaceful. It's going to be conducive for you to succeed in all of these finals that you might have coming up. Have that conversation with your family if you need to, that this is finals week, I'm going to be really stressed out, I need all of the support from you that I can get. So hopefully this is the only time that you will have to take all of your finals completely online, and just know that this is a temporary hardship, and again, we're all just trying to kind of get through this together, and have a successful semester even though we've been faced with a lot.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate the advice you have for our students.